Hello and welcome to No There's Only Trash Here. No, Trash Here Podcast, that's the one. Episode 57. The date today is the 15th of June 2014. So no Mr. McLuckable today, but instead we do have ProtoMario.
Hey guys.
And returning this week for the second of the E3 podcast is Mr. CowsCrazy.
I'm allowed to speak now?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Moo!
Getting better. So, during the week, we did the Sony-Microsoft podcast, so this one is going to be the Nintendo podcast, but Proto, you weren't on the last podcast, so what did you think of Sony and Microsoft at E3?
So, Microsoft isn't doing too bad, because they're releasing their IP, Halo, which is always good.
People like Halo.
People love Halo. I love Halo. It's one of my favorite games of all time. But, Sony, man. Sony's like the drunk outside the bar who, comes to his son's graduation or, like, sporting event after it's over. But, like, not even arriving at the end. Like, after everyone's gone and the field's empty. They had, like, nothing, man. Nothing even remotely appealed to me from them.
Oh. So what appealed to you for the Xbox stuff? Obviously the Halo stuff.
Oh, that's it.
Oh,
The Master Chef.
Master Chef returns.
Yeah, Microsoft's the guy who's the father that shows up at the end, and he says, "Son, you did a good job, even though I wasn't here." And Sony just shows up when it's all over. So, yeah, Microsoft's got a leg up. But, you know...
On the plus side, either way, you're getting a ride home.
I guess.
Although Sony might, because they're drunk, run someone down accidentally, and then now you're involved.
It's a risk you gotta take for the allure of the free ride.
Risky business.
You gotta take that risk for Grim Fandango.
Yeah. I didn't really, care for... the Microsoft one. They didn't, like, every game they showed, I was just like, okay, I'll just play it whenever I feel like it. But then, you know, they were talking about Halo 5 and the Master Chief Collection, and the Master Chief Collection coming out on the Xbox One's really interesting. Because, again, you know, as the ages progress, we get better with our discs and how many games we can put on each disc. So it's just amazing that we're able to get remastered versions of Halo 1 and 2 onto a disc, let alone 3 also, and Halo 4 for the Xbox One. So I thought that was really, really cool that they're going to release this. But then, I also thought that it was just a bait and lure and a hook kind of thing that they use to get people to get Halo 5 because they put a demo on it there. Either way, it's nice that you get a demo, but it still feels like it's just a bait and lure.
Well, it's weird, like, with this collection, is that it shows just how much more space is on a Blu-ray than a DVD.
Oh, yeah.
But in the last generation, it had the PS3 with Blu-rays, and then the 360 with DVDs. And it's just, like, silly, the difference.
Yeah, it's really weird that, like, the PlayStation 3 games, like, they're virtually identical to the 360 games, and yet, like, on a Blu-ray you can fit, like, 25 to 50 gigabytes of information. 50 if it's a dual layer. Those are expensive discs, by, you know, comparison to a regular DVD, but it's still there.
Yeah, even the exclusives didn't really use that much. Like, The Last of Us and Uncharted looked good, but there was no PS3, like, open world game that was ridiculously big, when it seems like they could have done that if they wanted to.
Yeah, it definitely did. I don't know why.
I don't know.
There's one other thing I forgot to mention. Grand Theft Auto 5's coming to PC, Xbox One, and PS4.
Yeah.
So,
I think
the mod shop.
I think the most exciting part about that is the PC release, because then all the modders can get to it and create their crazy stuff.
I think that's going to be really cool, man. I can't wait to see what they're going to do with that.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing.
Maybe they'll sell another 35 million copies.
Oh, I don't frickin' doubt it. I don't doubt that every person that's already got it and has a decent PC will probably buy it for PC also.
Right, well, should we move on to Nintendo?
Yeah, it seems fitting.
Right. The first game we're going to tackle is Super Smash Bros. So, the announcements we got was that we got Mii Fighter, some woman from Kid Icarus, and Pac-Man. And then we got the release date for the 3DS version, and then just like a look at the game. So, the problem with Super Smash Bros. For me is that I know I'm going to love it. So when I see all these sorts of announcements, it's like, yeah, it's still looking great.
Yeah, I feel the same.
Like, I can't get really excited about it, but I know it's going to be good in the end. So it's not like, oh, Super Smash Bros. Whatever, but it is like...
I don't know if I'm wrong for this, but, like, when they announced those characters, I was just like, Like, do you guys care about a Mii Fighter?
I was just about to chime in with that, because, like, Mega Man, I have bought or played any of the Smash Brothers series. I've played a little bit, and it just really hasn't sucked me in. I don't know, this isn't the type of game that I would normally play. But, actually, Mega Man didn't attract me to come in, Pac-Man didn't attract me to come in, but the fact that I can take my Cow Mii and beat the living shit out of somebody, that actually makes me a little more interested. just a little bit. Just a little more interested. But as the pessimist of this group, I will like to point out that why is Nintendo making a huge mistake by releasing the 3DS one first? Why?
I think it's
This is a gigantic mistake. If anything, they should be releasing the Wii U one first.
I think it's the release schedule, if I had to guess. Like, they got Mario Kart 8 for the summer for the Wii U, but they don't really have anything for the 3DS. And I know it's now coming out October, but there's nothing on the 3DS on the way.
This is a really bad idea, though. I just think this is a really bad idea. Like, if you buy it for the 3DS and then you're having lots of fun with it and you're playing online with everybody and all that stuff, I just don't see when the Wii U one comes out, everybody going, oh, I gotta rush out and get my home console one, when you can just sit on your bed and play it with your 3DS. But if you did the other way around, if you released the one on the Wii U, everybody would play it at home, everybody would rush out and they'd buy their Wii U's if they haven't already just to play Smash Brothers, and then you release the handheld one, and I think more people would be like, well, now I can play it on the road with myself, and they'd pick it up. This way, I just think it's a really, really bad idea.
I think, basically, they're just trying to stave off people from losing interest. It's basically just like Hyrulean Warriors, which we'll mention later, and the Zelda that's coming out in 2015. Like, obviously people are gonna be like, oh my god, herp derp Zelda, herp derp. And so, yeah.
That, if you're trying to say that they're putting out Hyrule Warriors to try to keep you interested while they finish up Zelda Wii U, I say that's the exact opposite. This is just yet again another blunder by Nintendo. As far as I'm concerned, when Nintendo makes a system, within the first year of that system, they should already have a Mario game ready to go, a Mario Kart game ready to go, and a Zelda game. Those are the three that should be ready to go, maybe not right at launch, but within the first year. Not all this time. This is just ridiculous.
So ridiculous. A bit like the 3DS, because you had, in that first year, you had Ocarina of Time 3D, then that was Christmas you had Mario Kart 7 and Super Mario 3D Land.
Yes, but that was a remake, so I won't count that one. But we'll give them half a point then.
Ooh.
We'll give them half a point on that one.
Well, I think with Smash Bros. Though, it's not that big of a system seller as people think. It's still a fighting game. The people who care about it are Nintendo fans who love Nintendo and the fighting game community, and that's kind of about it. So I think they can...
Would you say that Mario Kart is more of a system seller than Smash Brothers?
Oh, definitely.
Really?
Because everyone loves Mario Kart, but Smash Brothers, it's a the most pick up and play fighting game, but it's still a fighting game. So not everyone can just enjoy it.
You're right. I don't enjoy it.
I somewhat agree with Tom, but you know, over the years, my opinion of Smash Brothers has declined greatly because of all the bullshit that's just getting thrown into it. It was a pretty simple idea, and simplicity is the best for me, honestly. I don't like extra shit. I mean, I don't care about Pac-Man. I don't care about the Kid Icarus chick. I don't care about the Mii fighters. I wanna fucking fight someone with Ness. I wanna fight Ganon with Ness. I wanna fight Mario with Samus. I wanna fucking kill the damn turtle with the princess. I don't care about any of these other fighters, and everyone's getting so psyched and hyped up about it. It's just fucking ridiculously retarded.
Well, it's just Pac-Man, that announcement was a year too late. The Mega Man one was awesome. That was a great announcement. But
Right.
that happened a year ago now. And now it's another year, and we're going to have to wait another 6 months for the game to come out. So Pac-Man is like, yeah, that makes sense why it's in the game, but does anyone still care about Pac-Man?
Yeah. Pac-Man is actually the world's most easily recognized game character. He's one of the most famous, but I have never in my life imagined Pac-Man doing anything else than eating ghosts.
I think Pac-Man hasn't been in a relevant game in a long time. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever played any of his 3D games or whatever, but they haven't been very good.
Cows, you play Pac-Man and the Ghostly Hunters? Or Ghostly
No,
Hunters?
I've played... That's the newest one, right? No, I have not tried...
It's really bad.
I have not tried that, but I remember years ago, I forget what it was called, I played another one that was like this weird 3D platformer, and it was like really bad. And it just didn't feel like Pac-Man belonged in that world.
Pac-Man World? I think that's
Maybe.
that series. Because that's what he looks like. He looks like the Pac-Man from Pac-Man World. And it's cool that he does that jump and turns into the normal Pac-Man, but the normal Pac-Man is what people care about, not this new guy who's constantly smiling and has got hands and is waving. That seems like no one's getting nostalgia for that, unlike Mega Man.
I have a little bit of nostalgia for that, just because he kind of reminds me of the Pac-Man from the Pac-Man cartoon I used to watch as a kid.
Oh god.
Oh god.
That show wasn't very good, but it was kind of funny when you were a kid. It was just so ridiculous.
Right. But seriously, where's Ridley? Where's the Mother Brain?
I don't think the Mother Brain would be that fun to play as, but Ridley would be.
Right, but I'm just throwing out stuff here. Instead, they're appealing to third-party companies. But where are these characters? Where's Pokey from Earthbound? Where's, Gygus from Earth? Where's all these characters? Why are you appealing to third parties?
Because they want to make third parties happy, so they'll do other things with their system.
I mean, fuck, man. Namco, really? Really, Nintendo?
Well, to be fair, they're
as
always...
far as I'm concerned, soon as Ubisoft, their biggest supporter, kind of backed away, I think they're dead on third parties. Just wave the white flag here.
Yeah, I think that's it. When the Wii U came out, it was Ubisoft, Warner Brothers, Activision, and then EA. EA instantly was like, screw you guys, no more FIFA. We'll put FIFA on the PS2 still, but not for you. And then Ubisoft are like,
didn't
we're
they still make
sick
it
of
for
your
their
shit.
3DS?
Yes. I think the 3DS
they still did
still
for
got
the
it.
3DS.
But and then Warner Brothers just puts they're crazy, those guys. They're just happy to be, or people to actually buy their games. It's like, wow, we actually figured out this video game thing. Put it on everything. Put it on Live. Put it on all those crazy services. So they'll still be there. Then Activision are just so rich or just so crazy with COD money that I think they're going to stick with them a bit longer just to see if Nintendo turns it around. But yeah, that's all they've really got. I mean, the new Call of Duty hasn't been announced for Wii U yet, like I predicted, so that might have gone away. Activision might have gave up, but it's just Warner Brothers so far.
That's why it's even more important for Nintendo to be putting out their games, in a reasonable time frame. and they're the ones that have to be selling their own systems right now.
Well, that's why we got like Hyrule Warriors, where it's like we got all these IPs, but we don't have the resources, so we'll give bloody Team Ninja are involved in that project. So whoop-de-doo. So we'll outsource our IPs, and we'll probably see that happen a lot more next year with like Metroid. That'll probably get outsourced again.
I swear to God, if they fuck up Metroid again, I swear to God. I swear to God.
No, Retro. They've got to given it to Retro.
They fucking had better. God damn, you make fucking 3 killer games. Games that redefine what first-person shooter could be, and then you fucking give it to someone else, and you make the shittiest 2.5 3D contraption.
Now, hold it. If they're giving it to Retro, do you think they're gonna... Is that what you're expecting? Are you expecting Metroid Prime from Retro?
No,
I don't.
no.
I expect Super Metroid from Retro.
I expect something that is not what we got on the Wii after.
Well, yeah, but like if Retro's doing it, if they're really doing it, I expect a game that's similar to Super Metroid. That's my expectation there.
I hope so too.
I think if Retro got it, they know the Wii U now, so they're definitely going to make a 3D game. But it would make more sense to give Metroid to someone else and make a 2D Super Metroid style game on like the 3DS.
Oh, why can't Retro do that? They've done well with Donkey Kong.
Well, they can do, but they're a big company, so Nintendo needs those AAA Wii U games. So Retro are definitely going to be making something like that rather than a 3DS game.
Oh, well, not 3DS. Yeah, I'm thinking Metroid on Wii U.
Yeah, but I think that would have to be 3D.
This is what I want to see.
3D?
This is what I want to see from Nintendo. This is what I think every fucking person who's ever had a Nintendo wants to see. Metroid Prime was great, but give me the original Metroid, give me Metroid Fusion, and give me Super Metroid, and make them in the style of Metroid Prime. And make them upgraded, remastered on the 3DS also. Cool. So they both have a version on the Wii U, and then they have a version on the 3DS also, and they work together. I mean, look, the Wii U gamepad's perfect for it. You can scan things with it while you're engrossed in the action on the TV.
You can have your map on there while you're, it's all good. Map.
Mm-hmm. So you want Metroid the Master Chief Collection on Wii U?
Yes.
That could work.
I want the original Master Chief, motherfucker.
Yeah.
She took off her helmet at the end.
The baby.
The baby. The baby Metroid?
Yeah. Well, no, in Metroid Other M, she's always saying the baby.
Oh, yeah. Fucking... Oh, God. Fucking damn that game.
Would you be happy if they announced a Wii U remastering of Metroid Other M?
No.
No?
I would literally kill myself.
With extra sexism for the next generation.
Oh, good. As if, not ragging on Bayonetta, but as if they're not gonna paint that already on Bayonetta with the boobs and the outfits, and then Tomb Raider, and then, I don't know, fucking every... Fuck, man. Fuck Metroid Other M.
Oh. So what about, speaking of Tomb Raider, Rise of Samus Aran? What about that?
Oh, good. Yeah. So, you know what's great? How about we put in HD Ridley burning people alive and a little girl crying about her parents being murdered in front of her, and then she almost gets raped by a space pirate, and a Metroid saves her, and then she discovers that the Metroids are her parents, but then Kozos come along and save her from the Metroid.
That's a game right there. Done.
Then she cries. Then she cries.
Well, she only fought Ridley like 5 times before.
Yeah.
That 6th time is always emotional.
Oh my God, Ridley. It's not like I have a giant power armor suit or anything.
Not when she cries, it disappears. But no,
What?
so that was one disappointment about this E3, is that I thought we would get a Metroid announcement. But to me, the fact that we didn't get one means that Retro's making it. Because they only finished Donkey Kong, that only came out this year. So if no Metroid announcement comes this year, or for this E3, then yeah, Retro, that's what they're making.
So Retro is not getting the Star Fox thing then?
No, that's Nintendo. From what I can tell. Or Miyamoto.
So they're not outsourcing Star Fox?
I don't believe so.
Okay, then I still have faith in it then.
Just saying, the Super Nintendo version of Super Metroid came out in 1994, 3 years after the North American release of the SNES, and 4 years after the Japan release of the SNES. So, definitely, I mean, I'd rather wait to get it, if it comes at all, but I swear, man, don't pull an N64 here. Don't fuck up, Nintendo.
Well, Metroid Prime came out 2002, I think, so we've already missed that ship.
Right. No, it's okay. You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna come out with a Metroid that's really great on the Wii U and have an awesome multiplayer, and then never use it again.
Well, as good as the multiplayer in Metroid Prime 2 Echoes.
Oh, look at that, Tom. You knew instantly what I was talking about.
That's a treat.
Not like Hunters or anything.
No, it's all about Echoes.
Yeah, but they supported that way more than Echoes, so that's cool. That's cool, Nintendo. Good going.
Well, I
Doing
think
good.
Hunters was the first online game they ever did. Like
I think it was too.
If it came before Pokemon and Mario Kart, which I think it did, with that demo.
It did, because the demo was the first one released for the DS, technically.
But I would not want an online multiplayer Metroid. Like, no.
I would if it was in the Metroid Prime 2 styling, because that wasn't half bad, but, like, they just completely said fuck it. I don't know why.
It was okay, but I wouldn't...
Right, it's not Call of Duty or Halo, but, I mean, they got nothing. They have nothing. They have no first-person multiplayer game that's worth a damn.
Yeah, but you don't really need... Like, no one brought a Wii U hoping, I hope Nintendo make an FPS.
And
You
that's
buy
the
a different
problem.
one.
That's the problem. Why not?
Well, because you've already got Halo and Battlefield and COD, so you don't need another franchise thrown in there.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, the last thing I want or expect from Nintendo is a first-person shooter.
Well, I definitely don't expect it, but I thought it'd be cool. You know what? They really need to buy Ed. That's what they need to do.
That'd be cool.
What?
The
Like,
Doom
hey,
guy in the new Smash.
Hey guys, I know you're all about the blood and gore, but can you tone it down a bit?
Just a smidge.
We don't want the children doing stuff. But you can have the schoolgirls uncensored if you want.
Well, yeah, that's different.
Span! Span!
Kids need to see that.
Yeah.
Okay, well let's move on to Amiibo. Now, does anyone have any idea why this exists or what the benefits to it are?
You might not know this. I covered it, and it went under the radar. But apparently, Skylanders came to Nintendo and approached them about their figures, and they wanted it to be exclusively on Nintendo. I don't know if you remember me saying this.
Yes.
Nintendo turned them down and said that they had no idea what they would do with it. And now, all of a sudden, I think 3 years later, these figurines magically pop up, and they seem to do the same exact thing that Skylanders do. Whoa, would you look at that?
Well, they don't even seem to be doing the same thing as Skylanders, because with Skylanders, it's like
This
RPG
is how...
systems, but there's no RPGs using Amiibo.
No.
This is going to be a bomb. That's what this is going to be. This is going to be another Nintendo peripheral that comes out. It does okay for the one game, which will probably be Smash Brothers, because that seems where it's going to be the most integrated, and then for everything else, it's going to bomb huge.
Listen, I still use my balance board every day, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Like, I don't see how, like, if I buy the Link amiibo thing, okay, sure, I can see how it's going to be great in Smash Brothers, but how is that going to be good for another game that they announced they wanted to work for, Mario Kart 8? Because Link's not even in Mario Kart 8, so how is that going to work?
Wait,
Like,
so,
did I just buy a pointless amiibo?
Why would it be good in Smash Bros. Though? Like, what does it actually really do?
It's supposed to save your version. You're supposed to level them up differently than the way other people would.
In Smash, though?
Yes.
Yeah. This is the thing. With Skylanders, it's the same technology. With Skylanders, when your Skylander levels up, it saves onto the character, not the game. So if you sell that character or give it to someone else and they put it on their system, the character's data is still there. So basically what they're saying is that you no longer have to constantly customize your setups, your attack patterns, and how you play. All you have to do is put this figure from your Wii U to another Wii U or 3DS. And while that sounds great, I honestly can never see in the foreseeable future that Nintendo's actually going to put Mario in a Zelda game or Samus in a Zelda game.
Exactly.
I don't see that ever happening.
It's just not going to happen.
No.
So therefore, these things would only be good in a game that is like Smash Brothers, where all of them come together. It doesn't make sense that these figures would be any good in any other game. It would be very localized and basic.
Yeah, it's broken in concept, because the whole point of Smash Brothers is that this is the only game where they all come together and fight.
So, like, maybe a figure like Mario would sell really well, because Mario's obviously going to be in a lot of these party games, which will probably where they'll be used most, like a Smash Brothers or a Mario Party or Mario Kart. But I just don't see Link being good in it, or Kirby being good in all these games.
Yeah.
You know, I just don't see the point of these other figures at all. And like, they didn't even announce price for these things.
Oh,
and
it'll be a lot.
I didn't do that.
I can imagine that each one of these things is going to cost quite a pretty penny. And it's just, you're not collecting them all. Fuck that shit. You're not collecting them all. And if you want to play as other characters, that's not going to happen. This is for somebody that's very specific. I am always this person, all the time. It's going to be for a very small quantity of people that are going to get this thing. And then they're going to realize it's not good for anything else. I don't know.
Well, you have to design your game around this system. You can't just throw it in. And I don't think we're going to get a game where that happens until at least next year.
Well, how many times has Nintendo done this before? They go, look at this amazing peripheral, and then they got one game for it, and then they expect other games to include this, and they don't. And it just becomes another thing that sits on your shelf and goes to dust.
You leave Link's crossbow training out of this, alright? It's a quality Zelda title.
Oh my god.
Oh, that was a lot of fun when it first came out, and then the gun is useless. And I actually picked up that game again recently after not using the gun for like a year and a half, and the trigger is completely dead just from sitting there and doing nothing. So inactive use actually killed the gun. So now, and the game isn't much fun to use without the gun, because just the Wii U doesn't, you can't get the quick response out of just the controller. So it's just, fuck it.
I picked up mine for, I think a grand total of $2.
Ouch.
Yeah. Killed my pocketbook so badly.
$2.
Zelda game. $2.
But it's
Doing
like,
good, Nintendo.
Nintendo are weird though, because they both really know how to get something like this to work. Like, with the Wiimote, it's like, yeah, make it the main controller, and then we'll make some games for the thing. And even the gamepad, you know, it's had a rocky start, but they still knew that they had to integrate it with the console. But then they have the main stuff that's pretty cool. And then throughout the whole of the Wii, and now it seems like the Wii U, they just have this little stuff that just is going to fade away soon. And those collectibles, or those figures, will probably be worth a lot, because I don't know who's going to buy them.
Yeah, that's true. I'm willing to bet that the figures themselves will probably cost as much as Skylanders, brand new, which is anywhere from $10 to $15.
Yeah, I was gonna be a little more harsh. I was gonna say $19.99, but
Probably $20 to be honest, because once again, it's proprietary. Proprietary.
Because I'm thinking this thing has an integrated chip in it and computer, and you have to pay for that. Plus they're gonna think that this thing is just basically collectible on its own.
Yep.
And so they're gonna sell it as a collectible. I'm thinking $20 each.
So they need to throw it in, like, package it with Smash on Wii U if anyone's actually going to check it out.
And then, so they'll start as $20, yeah, and there'll probably be a package deal where you can get one with Smash Brothers. Maybe you can get it for like $10 if you buy Smash Brothers or something. But I guarantee within a year you're getting these things for $5 each.
There's going to be a Smash Brothers starter set that's going to have Mario, Link, maybe Bowser, and like Kirby or Samus. I bet.
Probably.
That's what I'm thinking.
But then it's like, I'll get on board with this stuff once they announce a game that uses it properly. Because with Smash Brothers, I'm not going to use all that. Like,
yeah, but how
customizing your
can
character.
That's hilarious right there, because Smash Brothers is the game they want you to use it all for. So if you're not going to use it for Smash Brothers, how do you envision this being used?
Well, it has to be an RPG. That's the only way it makes sense. And that's why Skylanders had it be like an RPG sort of game. So it actually matters that you have your character.
So would you like to see an RPG game from Nintendo that would include all these characters?
Maybe not all of them, but
I
another
would.
Mario RPG would be awesome. Like a
Well,
real
why
one.
can't Mario RPG include all these other characters? It doesn't have to be, just because they call it Mario doesn't mean it can only be from the Mario universe. It could just be the Nintendo universe kind of RPG.
Well, it seems like they could have done it with the Wonderful 101 when it was meant to be all the Nintendo characters. But then, of course, Nintendo said no, they took it all out, and now they have something that would be perfect for that game if they did it with
Why
Nintendo
can't
characters.
Kirby, Link, Samus, and Mario all go off on an adventure together?
I think that'd be awesome.
I disagree. I think
I'm
that
gonna
would
go
be so
ahead and
lame.
say I'm gonna go ahead and throw in Ganon as Link's lovable companion, and Bowser as Mario's lovable companion. And then, of course, Samus has the mother brain, always screwing stuff up. So, what? You guys don't see it that way? Oh, I'm sorry.
I will not be buying.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
You know what? That's fine. When I'm making millions, you can just not buy.
When everyone's buying Amiibo for your
Yeah.
crazy RPG game.
I
I'll be
always
sad.
thought it was like Amiibo.
And I don't like the name either. Why are they calling it
Yeah.
Amiibo? That's just
I thought it was Amiibo or Amoeba.
yeah. It doesn't sound good. It sounds ridiculous.
But it's a me, as in your
Yeah,
character.
I already knew that,
That's clever.
but still, you can fucking cleverly shut the fuck up.
Are you saying Nintendo aren't good at naming things?
Yeah, no, they were good. They were back in 2006, and then 2007 came,
Oh.
and everything went downhill. Everything.
Well, the 3DS wasn't that bad of a name.
No, I don't mind that.
I don't either, but the
Wii-
Wii
I still
U,
don't Wii.
fucking Nintendo Revolution.
Wii is just forced in there because I think they invented the name Mii first, and they've gone off of that the whole time. They just love the name Mii. They think it's the most clever thing they've ever invented, and it might be actually. But then they've just forced it into everything they've ever thought of after that.
Listen to me, guys. Listen to me. Listen to me very closely. The Wii with Wii Sports is one of the highest selling systems in existence, which means,
Oh, I'm aware. I was there on the first day in minus 20-degree weather trying to get one of these things because everybody wanted one.
if they had just stuck with Nintendo Revolution, they wouldn't look like such fucking jackasses right now.
You think the name really killed them? That's ludicrous. No.
I don't. I just think the name could have helped a little bit.
Well, I think the Wii U, it really suffered.
Yeah.
That suffered. Yeah, that was a bad name to call it the Wii U. That was bad.
It's so bad.
The explanation made sense and was good, though. It's like, it's Wii, but it's you, too. And, oh.
Yeah, that cleared things up.
Yeah, that really helped.
Oh, I get it now. It's you and we and me and us and them.
we would like to play. I get it.
The Nintendo Us is coming soon. It's their new console.
No, the Nintendo Fusion, remember, Tom?
Ah, yes, of course.
Yeah.
The Nintendo Us and them.
Yeah, S&M.
Right, let's move on to the next game. We've only done 2 so far. The bullet
Doing
points.
good.
We're nailing them. Yoshi's Woody World.
Did you say Woody World?
No, Woolly.
Yeah,
Oh,
I thought he said Woody too.
I might have done. But I meant Woody.
We're changing stuff right now. We are changing history here, man.
Yoshi's Woody World, an 18.
18.
Ever since I heard about this game coming out, I just have to ask myself, was like Kirby's Wood Wool or Epic Yarn, that was it. Did that really sell that well? Like, seriously? That it deserved this kind of treatment put onto Yoshi?
I think Kirby's Epic Yarn outsold Kirby's Adventure Wii, or whatever the Wii game was called, Return to Dreamland.
I find that pretty sad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this.
I will say Yoshi does seem more suited for this wool yarn kind of world than Kirby did.
I don't care, just as long as it doesn't suck. I mean, you couldn't die in Epic Yarn.
You won't be able to die in this one either.
No, there's health. You can see it.
Oh, there is? Okay.
Yeah, when you start a level or in the gameplay, they have your hearts going in like a semicircle around you.
Oh, guys, also Kirby's Epic Yarn sold 1.59 million copies.
Okay, that's still... I mean, it came out 2010, I think, so that's not bad.
Yeah, that was as of April 2011, so take it for what it's worth.
I mean, I don't think Kirby games do that well anyway. Or, they don't compare to Mario, Zelda, Donkey Kong, and the rest of it. But I don't know, I think this game's looking good, because Kirby's Epic Yarn was a game that they were just making, then Nintendo came along, so I put Kirby in it. It was cool.
Those games never do well.
No.
Right.
So then this one is actually them saying, okay, we're making a Yoshi's game, but we'll use this art style. So I think the thing that puts this game down is that the people that made the new Yoshi's Island, Yoshi's New Island, are involved in some way. So that's not a good sign. But it is an interesting art style, so I think that'll probably save it.
So we wait how many years for a sequel? Get a GIMP version for the 3DS, and then this for the Wii U.
Well, you got Yoshi's Island DS as well.
Yeah, I mean, 'cause that. And Yoshi 64, 'cause once again, that.
Well, I don't think they can ever recapture the first game, though.
Yeah, I don't either.
So I think them trying to do something completely different with wool is probably a good idea.
I don't know, man. I'm not really excited about it. To be honest, I really don't like Yoshi. I've never liked Yoshi at all. I've only liked Yoshi's Island. But every other time, Yoshi makes that fucking noise. He's always in the fucking way, making fucking weird noises. God, fucking Yoshi.
I don't trust little cartoon animals that can only say their name.
Yeah.
Like a certain other series.
He makes me so mad, guys, because he can only say his name.
That's
Yoshi!
retarded.
Yeah. That's just insane, Cows.
It is.
For anyone to enjoy a game based on that.
Exactly.
Throw that away. Well, so we'll move on, because obviously there's not that much excitement about this game, but it's a Nintendo platformer, so
But now that we're on that, now that I think of it, wouldn't it be interesting if there was a Mario Pokemon crossover and we find out that Yoshi really is a Pokemon?
Oh my god, yes.
Mm-hmm. Dragon type right there.
I'm ready to fuck up Yoshi.
Oh god. That's an interesting direction to go. I thought it would just be cute to see a Pikachu and Yoshi hang out, but no, you can fuck them up if you want.
You fainted Yoshi. Yoshi fainted again. Yoshi fainted again. Yes. Yes! Thank you so much, Yoshi.
Is Yoshi going to be in Smash Brothers?
Oh yeah.
Oh, there. You can fuck him up in that game.
Oh, I do every time.
Oh god. I've never known anyone to hate Yoshi.
I just don't.
I don't enjoy Yoshi, but I don't think I have the same level of hatred that Proto sees.
Okay, so let me clarify so everyone's not just like, what the fuck is wrong with you, bro? Okay, so with Pokemon, they say their names when they come out in the anime, but in the games, they really don't say their names. They have an intimidating battle cry most of the time. Okay? So there's the first difference. So in the games, they're just like, fucking kill you, you know? Like, but then Yoshi all the time, Yoshi, it's just like, shut your fucking mouth! Fucking dinosaur, God! Fucking hates you so much!
But it's your friend!
Possibly why Mario hits him in the back of the head in Super Mario World.
Fuck yeah, Mario!
But it's just happy to be alive, helping out, being your pal.
What's he happy about? What's he fucking happy about, dying?
That's like, okay, the name thing's a little annoying, but the fact that he's so friggin' happy really pisses me off.
Over anything in the world. You're on a lava level. It's like 150 degrees. He's like,
he's being happy! There's madness and death all around you!
I like that in Yoshi's Island as well, when you get hit and Mario is crying and being taken away to be like killed or kidnapped, Yoshi's still smiling. He doesn't change facial expression, he's still like, woo!
Riding the skull platform, a platform literally made out of skulls on lava, and he's just like, yep.
Normal day.
Everyday stuff here in Yoshi Island.
Just stop being happy.
You know he's a terrorist, right?
Yoshi's a terrorist?
Why not?
In Yoshi's Island, every time you beat a level, he goes into the castle and blows it up.
Oh my god, he's part of the Taliban.
I know, right?
Well, now we have to hate him. We can't like terrorism. In all its forms.
How did this get on terrorism?
You brought it up, don't...
What? That wasn't me.
Okay, so Yoshi's Terrorism World, coming 2015.
Oh no. Oh no.
Get the weapons of mass destruction.
Alright.
That monster. Right,
Anyways.
so we should move on to a character I don't think is a terrorist, but I think we need to check every time now. Captain Toad. Treasure Tracker. Oh, damn it.
Yeah, this game.
This disappoints me so much.
Right?
So much. When I heard the name, do you know what popped into my head immediately? I thought it was going to be Captain Toad from the Galaxy games, and we're going to get some kind of a Toad Galaxy kind of shooter, or maybe flying through space or landing on different planets and stuff like that. I thought, well, that's the kind of game we're gonna get. And then when I saw it, I'm like, that's just a fucking mini game from New Super Mario Brothers. And like, do I really want to play that like 100 times in a big game? No. Like, sure, that was fun. I'm not saying it wasn't fun in New Super Mario Brothers. It was fun. I enjoyed it. But do I want a main game full of that? And it doesn't even look like they've expanded on it. It just looks like it's just going to be a whole bunch of small little ones. Like, I am so disappointed in this game.
I can't see paying $60 for a game like that.
No, I can't. I cannot see me paying full price for this game.
Well,
No.
when I saw the announcement, I assumed it was going to be a eShop game. Like, a bit like the Pushmon or whatever that one's called, where it's just a bunch of levels that you can play and download it.
You might be right, and if you download them for like $10 or something, then fine. But I got the impression the way they push this game, it's going to be a main, on-disc, full-price game.
Yeah, I think you're right, because on Amazon they've already got it put up there, and it has box art as well,
Yeah.
like a proper box art cover.
I just... No, I don't, I'm not paying full price for this game. There's just no way. And just, how did they take that idea and go, let's make a full game about it? Like, am I the only one that thought that way? Just seeing the...
No.
I know you guys saw... you guys got to watch the thing. I'm just sitting on Twitter at work, seeing names of games pop up, and that's the first thing. When I saw the name of that game pop up, that's what popped into my mind, was Captain Toad, the space guy. And, like, that's what I remember. I barely remembered that guy was called Captain Toad in the new Super Mario Bros. Like, Captain Toad from Galaxy is what I remember, and I wanted that so bad. And I thought this was going to be awesome. And then I saw...
I already knew, man. I already knew. I was like, fucking really?
Like, when they're sitting around the boardroom, like, do you think that even came up? Like, am I the only one that thinks this way? Like, that they would want Captain Toad the space guy? That sounds like... To me, that just feels like such a better spin-off.
Well, they already had the basic gameplay down. They were just like, let's make more of this.
It's laziness, then. It's laziness.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's laziness. That's all it is. Instead of trying to be creative and thinkful and insightful, they go, well, let's just take something people already liked a little bit and make them like it a hell of a lot more.
Well, don't you think they could be creative by sticking to this sort of game design where you can't jump and it's like a platformer
Look,
sort of
if
game?
they really wanted to be lazy, they could have took my idea of Captain Toad in space and taken the basic same principles that they had in the Metroid game on Nintendo Land and made a full game out of that.
Well, but the thing is, if they made a space shooter around Captain Toad, you would be like, where's Star Fox? Where's Metroid? This should be a Metroid Star Fox game.
They could make it different. If they made a Captain Toad game that was more bubbly and happily like the Mario Nintendo things are, but they made the game in the spirit of, let's say, Star Fox Adventures, do you think people would be as upset about that? I don't think so.
Well, people didn't like Star Fox Adventures for whatever reason.
Because it wasn't Star Fox and they weren't flying through space. But if you take an original character like Toad and take him out of his element, I don't think anybody would be upset or care. You could make this crossover adventure space shooter together and, I think it would be fine. I think it would be great.
I think that would be good too, but it would be too odd. Like, this kind of makes a bit more sense as a spin-off, but having a space shooter as a spin-off to Mario, it would be fun, but it...
I don't know. I just thought Captain Toad from Outer Space was a lot better than Captain Toad walking around with a little light on his head.
Yeah.
And I don't know. This just...
So, look, man, Toad's not been in a lot of games, but when he was in Super Mario World 2, he was pretty badass. I mean, he had extra power. So that was helpful. What?
Which game are we talking about here?
Oh, the second one when he was,
Doki Doki Panic.
Yeah, Doki Doki Panic.
Oh, Super Mario Brothers 2 then, not World 2.
And then he was in World 2, so it proves that he's a viable character, at least enough to be played with. So instead of this, I think if they would have just made a mining game with him, like, that'd be cool.
Even that could be cool, yeah? Yeah, you could dig for stuff or be on a minecart. Well, that might be too Donkey Kong in the minecarts, but yeah, well, still.
I think he is in a minecart in the trailer, though, for this game.
You know what, just fuck Toad, alright?
Oh, okay. He's on the terrorist list.
He's not as bad as Yoshi, but he's fucking coward.
Well, if he's a miner, then he probably has a lot of dynamite. He could probably do some terrorism with that.
That's true.
See, you have to hate Toad, though, because if you hate Yoshi for making noise, Toad is, like, a lot worse.
But see, that's the thing. Toad doesn't get a lot of
regular English.
He can, but he doesn't get a lot of the focus. Like, he doesn't have, like, 10 games where he's in. Unlike Yoshi, who has every fucking time he jumps in the air.
From what I've seen, Toad has a wide variety of emotions, okay? He is not happy all the time. I've seen him happy, I've seen him sad, I've seen him scared. Okay? Yeah. He has a very wide range of emotion.
My favorite emotion of Yoshi is when he falls into spikes and he spins around and he's shocked, but he's not sad.
No, he's still happy.
And then he goes to sleep. So never once does his smile go to a frown. Just a shock.
Turn that smile upside down.
Well, I mean, at least Luigi has his death stare. He's got that going on now.
Okay.
I was trying to keep it topical with the Mario Kart 8 references, but obviously no one really cares.
Didn't do too well there with your joke, Tom.
Damn it. I saw it on Fox News and thought, hey, if they killed it with that segment on their show, so I'll bring it here. Well, let's move on.
Do the Mario. Swing your arms from side to side. Come on, let's go. Everybody do the Mario. Yep.
Right, let's move on to the big one. Right, the next up is The Legend of Zelda on the Wii U. So we got it, it's coming out in 2015, and we got some footage of the game, although it's quite limited.
That's not the game.
That's the game.
That's not the game.
It's the game.
You're telling me that's the game. That's not the game. That's just a little animation thing that they made up.
No, that's
not the game.
In-game.
No, it's not.
It is.
No.
It is. They confirmed it. That's running in-game. Yeah,
that is not in-game. There's
if it's
no
in
way
game, then it's going to be a QuickTime event, so fuck it anyways.
Yeah, that's not in-game. There's no way that is gameplay footage. I do not believe that for a second. That is a little animation that is in the game. That is not in the game.
Okay, yeah, it is an animation, but it's running in-game. So graphically it's the same, but obviously...
Okay, I'll give that, but it's still a movie scene. It's not gameplay. It's not actual gameplay footage. There's no way. That's cutscene.
I have kind of the same worries as Cow is saying here, Cows, because if companies like EA couldn't put Battlefield 4 on the Wii U, and gimped versions of Black Ops or Ghosts couldn't be put properly on the Wii U, how is it that you're going to be able to see a mountain so far in the distance? And, like, the draw distance is just so insane, it's not funny. I don't believe it fully.
Well, to be fair, right?
I'm not even worried about that. Look at, all I want them to do is keep their promise that this game is gonna be as open world as Zelda 1 was.
Yeah.
If that's true, that's all I care about. I wouldn't care if the graphics were as bad as 8-bit from Zelda 1. I don't care.
That's
all
what
I
I'm saying.
Want to do is them to keep their promise that this is an open world game. I really think they were on the right track with A Link to the Past 2 on 3DS. They had a really good game going there. So if they continue with this open worldness, then I'll be happy. But that was not gameplay footage. They do not have to lie to me and try to tell me it was. It was not gameplay footage. I don't know why they played this little game, too. I don't know who said it, but they played this little joke game where that wasn't Link on the horse, and then afterwards he's like, ha ha ha, I didn't say it wasn't Link, I just didn't say it was. Of course it's Link. Ha 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 ha. I don't know, why do they play these little games with the Zelda fans and try to, like, make them all freaked out? I just don't understand that. Like, it's like they, like, have fun trolling Zelda fans. Why do they do these things?
Returning to the whole tech question, it's with EA, they couldn't get Battlefield 4 to work on any console. And I played Call of Duty Ghosts and it ran fine. And also, Nintendo are always the best at making games on their consoles.
Yeah, but... Yeah, but... I just...
Look, it wasn't gameplay footage. We can all agree on that. It was a cutscene, and this cutscene was designed to make you forget the spider thing that they did last year. That's what this was done for. Okay? They're going, here we go, remember this, do not expect what you saw last time. This is what you should expect to see. That's what this was designed for, and nothing more. And the fact that they did not have 1 ounce of gameplay footage makes me really upset. Really upset that we have to wait a whole nother year just to see gameplay footage.
Well, they always do it like this, though.
I hate that they do it like
Zelda
this.
stuff.
I hate that they do it like this. Makes me so mad. But, on the bright side, at least we know this game exists. Unlike other games that people have said they're going to make, and then they never do.
I don't know what you're talking about with that reference.
I don't know if you're talking about Earthbound 3.
Yeah, there we go.
You remember... Oh, it went so far as to put gameplay footage in a magazine. And then it's just like, oh, hey, no. They didn't
Have
even
they ever
say
came out and said that this game is not going to happen?
No. Never.
Oh, then there you go. You're in the same boat then.
Never,
At least say, do you want? We're done with it. It's never going to happen. I'll be happy with that.
I'd be happy with that, too.
Yeah, at least give me some resolution that this is completely done. But no, they continue to just let it hang there in the air. It's not cool. It's not cool.
Well, when it comes to this Zelda game, though, it's like, it's everything they showed. They're like, yeah, the graphics are good and the open world stuff sounds cool, but it wasn't a proper, here's the game. Like, they didn't even give it a title. Yeah. It's just, here's some tech. Really.
So here's the problem, though. A lot of people, when you do stuff like this, a lot of people get upset. They get feisty because in the past things have happened where Nintendo switched it up a bit. You know, we had this nice, cool Zelda fight, or this Link fighting Ganon scene, and then it came out as Wind Waker. No problem with that. It's just
everybody got upset about that. That's why I'm very sure they did this, because if you expected that spider scene from last time and then you got this, you'd be pissed off. So now they're like, forget about that, expect this, and now everybody can be calm and relaxed. But at the same time, why did they not put Link in green here? I think that's another thing they did on purpose, just to get people talking. And one point that I would like to put out is, notice that he's in kind of a similar...
The Wind Waker?
A blue, yes. It's that blue shirt, just like he was in Wind Waker and stuff. I don't know. My initial reaction is that this is going to be from the crappy Wind Waker storyline, and that this might be after, like, Spirit Tracks or something like that.
Well, it could be...
wonderful timeline.
Yeah, with how big the timeline, it could be anywhere. Like, anywhere. Like, Skyward Sword was a prequel, super prequel. So this one could be after any of the 3 timelines, or it could be in between any of the games. So that one, we can speculate.
But altogether.
It could be 4th timeline.
It could.
The hero does okay, but could have tried a bit harder. So Ganon's still kind of around, but you know.
I still say if they're going to split the timeline again, they have one after. I'd like to see a game that comes after Zelda 2, where Ganon is resurrected, just like it says at the end of the game.
Yes.
You've died, ha ha ha, Ganon is back. So why can't that be another split in the timeline? They already have it into their story. In-game. In-game. They don't even have to make shit up. It's already there.
I'm not trying to put promote myself here, but I've been working on a theory about how Link actually gets tied into and gets the Triforce to begin with, and I think it could work pretty easily. I personally would like just to see a remake of the first one in the styling of Ocarina of Time with no bullshit. No bullshit.
Isn't Skyward Sword the story of how he gets the Triforce in the first place?
It kinda is, but it's not. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, so that's how this Link got the Triforce.
Okay, but I was pretty accepting that the Triforce had not been discovered by anybody else until then. And I'm pretty accepting that nobody evil had ever touched the Triforce until Ocarina of Time. I'm pretty okay with their storylines in that perspective. I just have to disagree on the timeline split, that's all. That's why I really disagree.
But I think he gets the Triforce because he gets in Skyward Sword, and then all the descendants gets the same Triforce piece. Like with Zelda, and then Ganon I think is a bit different.
Right, but if you, go off the timeline and how some people say it is, and how Nintendo officially says it is, at some point in time, Link dies and loses in one of them.
Yeah, well, that's why I disagree that after Ocarina of Time and their split, that the Triforce is back together again in Link to the Past. That does not make sense. Once Ganon touches it, it should be split for all time. Because in every other game other than that, the Triforce has always been split apart in some fashion. It's either been hidden or it's already been within your body, inside the hand, okay? So that I can be accepting of. It should never have been back together again, and that's why I disagree the placement of Link to the Past in their timeline. That makes no sense.
Wait, hold on. So is A Link to the Past part of the storyline where you die and lose?
Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's why I said, with the theories I'm working on, I have an idea that one of the sages got down and dirty with one of the ancient Links to produce a potential contingency plan. Okay, so hey Link, you're doing real good, and you're real strong, but I have this sinking feeling you might die. So stick it in me, we'll make a kid, and just in case you lose, this one right here's got the same power you do.
I don't think that's how it works.
I'm pretty sure it's not how it works, but
I'm pretty sure that's not how it works because it's pretty obvious in between games that hundreds or it could be a lot of years, more than one generation has passed. So that would indicate that every son of Link or every person would be a hero, but it's not because there could be several generations between. And it's not even pointed out that every Link is related. I think there just comes a time where evil rises up and a Link is born. Sort of like a Jesus, maybe. Maybe it's kind of like one is selected from the semen of the world at random and he is spurted out somewhere.
And,
okay.
And my theory's not finished. That's a spitball. Just something to go with. It's just an idea. So, there's not a video made on it.
I think the gods somehow implant somebody, I don't know, and go, you are now the new Link, but...
Well, who knows?
Yeah, sorry, I just started reading the book, because I'm trying to find an explanation to why the Triforce is together in A Link to the Past.
Yeah,
and there's
the only theory that makes sense to me is that because it's in the death timeline, that he kills Link, so therefore he can somehow extract his Triforce. He has Zelda, he can extract that one. But then once he has all three pieces, he should be the ultimate ruler again, right? So why he is stuck in the Golden Land doesn't make sense to me. He has the Triforce. He should be able to do anything. Are you telling me? That indicates there is a limit to the Triforce's power, that he can't get back to the regular Hyrule. And why was he even there in the first place? Because he already had it. He didn't need to go to the Golden Land to seek it out.
And in Wind Waker, when the king died, or not, Yeah, I guess he died. But when you were fighting Ganon and Ganon was about to touch the Triforce, the king touches it, and it confirms any wish comes true.
That's true. And, like, is that whole... In Wind Waker, is it all 3 pieces?
Yeah, all 3 are together. He goes and touches them.
See, that doesn't... How does he get them then? Because I know Link doesn't have it to begin with. In Wind Waker, he has to go and find the Triforce of Courage. So why does Ganon already have his one, and why does Zelda already have hers inside her body, and Link doesn't? That one doesn't make sense to me at all.
Okay, so this is basically what happens. Ganon has his.
Yeah.
Link has his, and the princess has hers.
No, Link doesn't have his.
No, he does.
No, when the game begins, he does not have his.
Yeah,
he has to
later,
find
and then Ganon draws them out somehow.
Oh, well, that makes sense. That's fine. I'm just saying, when the game begins, why does Ganon have his and Zelda has hers?
Right, yeah, that doesn't make sense at all, because...
They should all not have them, or they should all already have them. Because, like, if Zelda's being given hers in her body just by divine intervention and reincarnation, just like Ganon is, then Link should also be given his by reincarnation. He shouldn't have to go and find it because the last Link that died took it and hid it somewhere. That doesn't make sense to me.
And
unless the rules are, if you extract it from your body and hide it, then it doesn't go into the new Link. You have to die with it within your body.
That's where my theory stemmed from, also. Because Link's always got to go find his Triforce of Courage.
Not always.
Half the time he does. So it doesn't make sense. It's really not consistent.
There's only 2 games that he has to go and find it, and that's Wind Waker and Zelda 2.
Well, I think in the Wind Waker he's not meant to be a descendant of the hero, because the hero buggered off and got lost and was never.
In the original Zelda, he doesn't have it at all. He does not have the Triforce at all.
Yeah. He stumbles upon Impa and then feeling. Yeah. I can't remember the wording, but feeling like infused with justice, he goes on the quest.
Well, yes, exactly. He does not have his Triforce at all, and Zelda has extracted her Triforce and split it up and hidden it, so Ganon can't get it. And once you save Zelda the first time, you get her Triforce, and then the second quest is, well, Ganon thought that was such a great idea, now that he's on the defensive, he's recaptured Zelda and hidden his own Triforce because he thought it was such a great idea. And then you go and grab his Triforce, and now have both.
The consistency is really doing great. They're doing wonderful.
It is wonderful.
But in the beginning of Wind Waker, the grandmother talks about how it's a tradition to wear the clothes because of the hero.
Yeah, and as I've talked about in my LP, nobody understand this tradition except for her. Everywhere you go, everyone's like, why are you dressed in that getup?
Yeah.
Like, if it was such a tradition, everybody would just look at him and go, well, you're in that getup because it's your birthday. They should know.
Yeah. My theory on that is that the grandmother is either Impa or a descendant of Impa, since, the sages, they like to hide a lot.
Yeah.
So that was my idea.
Yes. Sorry, I faced out a little bit.
And then Impa had sex with Link.
Of course.
And to keep the child lineage going, and then that Link lost, and the child lineage continues, and in a roundabout manner, we end up in Wind Waker.
Well, I think when he both has to collect them, he collects them because he's not a descendant. But the trial, like that, he naturally has courage, and he proves himself a hero by collecting them to get the Triforce. But he's not a descendant of the other ones, so he doesn't automatically have it.
Okay,
right.
I can buy that.
Yeah.
When he's infused with it already to begin with, he has courage because of the Triforce, because he's a descendant, a direct descendant.
Yes, there's 2 ways to get it. You either earn it or you get it by lineage.
Yeah.
Well, listen,
I can buy that.
I
love how this debate rages on, even though Nintendo said, here's the timeline, here's how it all works, but yet, it has not ended the debate.
Well, I was reading the book, and it doesn't really make sense with the Link to the Past timeline, where Ganondorf, it says in the book that because the hero lost, he gets both Zelda's and Link's Triforce. But then it's Zelda who seals him away in the Golden Land. But how did he get Zelda's Triforce if Zelda was strong enough to seal him away afterwards?
I don't know. See? That's...
Well, how does he withdraw the Triforce from him in the first place?
And if Zelda was powerful enough to put him and seal him away in the Triforce in the first place, why did Link even need to go on the entire quest at all?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah, why didn't Zelda just seal him away to begin with?
Well, I think they were trying to protect the Sacred Realm, because it turned evil once they sealed him away. So I think they were trying to prevent that from happening, but as a last resort, they kind of had to do it.
Well, it had been 7 years. Like, don't you think she would have thought of that earlier?
Nope.
I guess not.
You know? Like, it's been 7 years. Like, maybe after a couple of years you realize this Link guy isn't coming back, and maybe I should go to Plan B, which is to seal this guy.
Whoops.
Well, Link doesn't go away, they seal him away, so I would assume Zelda knows that Link's in like a capsule somewhere in hyposleep, waiting to be awakened again.
I don't know how Zelda knows, though.
Because she's like one of the royalty, I suppose?
I guess.
Someone just
I guess she
let her know.
has to know somehow, but still, that's a long time to let your country and your people suffer. Just on this faith that this guy is going to come back. And...
God, yeah, that must have sucked for her. She let 7 years of misery, everyone dying, zombies everywhere, and it's like, don't worry, Link will get him, and then Link dies, and she's just like, well, shit. That's 7 years down the drain.
I'll just seal him away now.
Sorry, zombies, I could have done this earlier, but, you know.
Like, really, what's more important? This sacred Golden Land or your actual country that you live in? I don't know.
She made a choice.
And then when the Triforce is extracted, it just flies away.
Yeah.
Have to go.
So, how did Link defeat Ganondorf? How did Ganondorf have enough power to fight Link? How did... a lot of things. Well, anyways, guys, I gotta get going. It's been real, and as always, I love talking about theory, so maybe I'll have you guys on for Zelda theory, since it's not my strong point.
I would love to debate any Zelda theory that you can come up with.
Oh man, I got a good one cooking up.
I hope you don't get annoyed at Nintendo for making the timeline. That would be crazy.
As long as Yoshi's not in it.
We can debate any theory in Zelda that you want, including to, like, any time Link does have any kind of authority figure, why it's not his direct parent. Why is it an uncle or a grandma?
Okay.
What happened
I
with
got one for you. I got one for you to think about for one moment before I leave. And, well, after I leave. Why is there a Yoshi doll in A Link's Awakening? Why is there a Yoshi doll?
It's a dream. I can buy that. It's a dream world. That's why Wart's in it. I can totally take that.
Hang on a second. If it is a dream and it is Link's dream, then he in the real world must have seen a Yoshi doll.
Well, it's
not necessarily, because I'm going to assume that Nintendo's dream world is just made up of living things, sort of like the never-ending story, how, like, imaginary things all come together in this one world and they all live together. So it's a real place, even though it's a dream that you can only get to through your mind.
And I don't think it's his dream. I think it's that dumb big fish's dream that he's just taking part in.
Exactly.
Okay, well,
he's
anyways...
the windfish and he's inside him. Yeah.
Anyways, guys, I gotta get going, so thanks for having me, and I'll catch you later.
Yeah, see you later, Proto. Thanks for being on.
I'm signing out, guys.
Cool. Well, now it's just me and CowsCrazy, and listen, we're gonna have to stop the Zelda talk, alright? We're gonna have to draw a line, say we had our fun, we got nothing accomplished, but, you know, that's always the case.
It's usually the case.
You can never find the real answers to these questions. So that's kind of annoying that Prologue just left, because the next game on the list is Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire.
That's a shame.
And he just left.
But we all saw this coming anyways, this game, and as somebody that is still kind of new to Pokemon, I've only played the first 2 games, sort of. I don't really see myself going out to get this.
Well, the question would be, will this remake replace the originals? Because most people would say play Fire Red and Leaf Green over Red and Blue.
I would agree with that on the based on what I've heard, but I don't see this being that much better than the Game Boy Advance games in terms of storyline. And if you really wanted the full thing, isn't Emerald the better one still?
Well, that's the question I want to have answered, because Emerald, yeah, like you said, it has all of it. So there's no point playing Ruby or Sapphire because of Emerald.
Yes.
But
exactly.
with the
Now,
other games,
why didn't they just remake Emerald then?
I don't know. I think it's just because they always, when they release Pokemon games, they do it in 2s. So they kind of have to stick to that. So maybe there's rumors of Delta Emerald coming out
I don't
later.
know much about this gen yet because it's still the next one on my list. But from all the research that I've learned, I would still rather do Emerald than either of these games.
Yeah. Well, to sum it up, in Pokemon Ruby, you fight.
Well, don't tell me too much.
I won't tell you anything, but it's you fight a different team to the team that you fight in Sapphire. But in Emerald, you fight both teams. Yes.
Yes, okay. That much I already do know. Is that, there's, double storylines come together. Yeah. So,
yeah. So I don't...
That sounds way more attractive than splitting them up.
Well, in Soul Silver and Heart Gold, that combined everything that was in Crystal, even though they were remakes of Silver and Gold. So I would hope they would do the same approach here.
Oh, okay. See, I did not know that.
Yeah, but again, we don't, because this is a 3D game, it's based off X and Y, they could really be doing anything with these remakes.
Well, as I was surmising, I was talking with another friend of mine, good old X09091, yesterday about the same thing. And we surmised that, much like how Fire Red is a remake of the first one, but yet it uses 3rd-gen components. So, why can't this be a remake of the 3rd-gen game using 6th-gen components?
That's what it'll be, because they're adding in a storyline with Mega Evolution.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing was X and Y had Mega Evolution, so they're adding that in to this game. Which I don't really care about, I would prefer if it wasn't in there, but it does, and it also looks exactly like X and Y. Like all the same character models, it's just a different environment. But it's exactly the same graphically. No, but...
Because I've heard X and Y are the best Pokemon games they've made in a couple generations. So.
I think so too, but they're a bit easy. So my big concern about these games is that will they be as hard as the originals? Which weren't really that hard, but X and Y were just embarrassingly easy.
I think that's the problem with a lot of Nintendo games, is that they're too easy. Until you get to the end, really. Like, Mario is usually easy until you get to that final level, and then they jump up the difficulty to, insane proportions.
Well, that's what Pokemon did with the Elite Four and stuff like that. But in X and Y, I beat it first time without using Mega Evolutions or really training that much. Because usually they would set you up to be like, okay, now you can do the Elite Four, but you are not ready. But with X and Y, once you get there, it's like, yeah, you can probably get that done. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry. Be happy.
So I guess they do have 3DS games on the way, though, because we were talking about Smash Bros. But of course, this year they're bringing out 2 Pokemon games, and they're always massive.
Well, it's really one Pokemon game.
Yeah, but they get to count the sales figures twice.
I guess so, but how many people do you think really go out and buy both?
More than you would hope. Pokemon fans, the committed ones, they're a little insane when it comes to that stuff.
But how many of those do you really think there are? Like, out of their sales?
Oh, like a percentage?
Yeah. Out of their sales, how many do you think just go out and buy one, and how many do you think go out and get both? Like maybe both eventually, but how many do you think go out and buy both right away?
Oh, both right away. Probably. I'd say it's got to be
and I mean right away within the
the first week. Yeah.
No, not even the first week. Let's give them 6 months.
Oh, 6 months.
Let's give them even 6 months. Within the 6 months you own both of them?
So no price drop. It's just.
Yeah.
I would still say 30%.
Really? You would say it's that high?
I think it's.
I was going to give them 10%, but if you're going to be more generous,
I'm going to be more generous. Just because Pokemon fans, the whole thing, it's about collecting them all and catching them all. So the people who are attracted to that, a lot of them
isn't
already
that easier to
have
do
that.
now without having both games, with all this internet stuff? And
No,
I've heard
but,
it's
I mean,
really easy
It's
to
not.
do in X and Y.
I don't
I've
mean they
heard,
buy them to help them out to do that. I mean they have that mentality where they enjoy collecting. So
Yeah.
why not just spend the extra money and have both of them? Because if you have all the Pokemon games already, you're going to buy both versions when they come out.
I don't know, tweets I've seen it's so easy to collect every Pokemon in X and Y, in existence with this Wonder Trade thing or whatever.
Yes.
I've heard it's incredibly easy to catch them all.
It is easy, but I think they made it like that just because there's over 600 of them now. So if it was as hard and tedious as the first games to do 600 of them, no one would bother. So they kind of had to tweak it a little bit.
No, but I would I would still expect maybe you make a good 60 or so of them really difficult to find.
Sure, I mean legendaries I think got to be pretty tricky.
I don't know much about this X and Y yet, but answer me one question then. There's legendaries that are hard to find and stuff like that, but I would still say, from my experience and knowledge and people talking to me, the most elusive Pokemon still to date would still be Mew.
Yes.
Is that in any way easier to get in X and Y now?
I don't believe so, because I don't think Mew is officially properly in any game. So that's what makes it so hard.
It's not in any game, even up to X and Y now.
I believe so. I might be wrong, but I never read anything about, you can go here to catch Mew. But I have read that about the other legendary Pokemon.
Wow. See, the Mew's not even listed as a legendary, is it?
I think it is, but it's weird because what it was is that with the first game, the way you got it is that you went to a Toys R Us or a promotional event and they gave it to you. But of course, once that ended, that was it. All the Mews that were out there.
From the first game, you wouldn't be able to transfer it all the way up to where you are now.
You might be able to, but it would be because you could trade from Pokemon Red and Blue to, I think, the 3rd gen you can jump to. And then if you have an old DS, you can transfer from the 3rd gen to the 4th. And once you've got it on the 4th, I think then you can trade it.
It would be a series of difficulties, though.
Yeah. But they've made all that easier with the Pokemon box thing. So once you collect all the Pokemon, you just put it all in your Pokemon box and you never have to do it in any game ever again.
As long as it's on the 3DS.
Yeah, but you can still trade it up to the 3DS version.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll still always have that Pokemon box.
Health system sometime in the future. How's that going to work?
I'm not sure. That's going to be weird, but I think they must keep Pokemon box going for the future gens, or otherwise people would be upset because they pay money. The value of it is that it will cross over, and if it doesn't, then it's a waste of time.
It is, yeah. Oh, they're paying money to keep them in the box.
Yeah, you got to pay.
Wow. Can you not keep them all in the cartridge?
Yeah, you can. But if you want to transfer them between games, make sure, if you avoid corruption.
Is that the way to transfer them between games now?
No, you can still. With the 3DS ones, you can do it online. You used to be able to do it with the DS ones, but they turned that off. And now you just have to have 2 of the same console, and then use a link cable for the old ones, but then the DS connect wirelessly, so you can still do it locally.
Okay. So as long as I can still trade with myself, that's
Yeah. You can still do
like-
that, just not online. You can't use the online services.
That's fine. As long as I can trade with myself. Because sooner or later I'm going to get there. And I'm going to want to bring my Pokemon that I've done from the past into the future. And as long as I can now do that, somehow get the ones off of my DS into my 3DS, then I'm fine.
Yeah, I believe you can do that. Like, if you get an old DS and then put the Game Boy Advance cartridge in it, and then put your DS game of like the fourth
Oh
gen.
no, I've already done that. I've already transferred Pokemon from my last LP. I did it from Game Boy Advance to DS. That's still possible. I've done that.
Sure.
I'm more worried about going from DS to 3DS without the online capabilities.
I think you can. I don't want to say for sure, but I think a DS game can trade with a 3DS one.
Without online. Like locally.
Yes.
I would hope so.
Don't take me, I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's got to be in there.
Like, I'm still a few years away from even figuring that out, so... But as long as it's somehow possible, then...
Well, you can definitely trade your DS games with Black and White 2, and I would be amazed if you couldn't trade Black and White 2 Pokemon with X and Y and 3DS games. Because that game came out when the 3DS was out for like a year or so.
Yeah. It's just all complicated now that Nintendo shut their Wi-Fi off. It's hard to understand what you can and can't do.
Yeah, you just gotta figure it out.
Just gotta figure it out. Anyways, what's up next on the docket?
On the docket, we got Bayonetta 2. And it was announced at E3 that Bayonetta 2 is still looking good with a trailer, but it was also announced that they're porting Bayonetta 1 over to the Wii U. But the awesome part is that you get it for free when you buy Bayonetta 2. So you just get 2 games outright.
I had zero interest in Bayonetta 2 at all. Absolutely zero. But the announcement that they were going to give me Bayonetta 1 absolutely free increases my zero interest. It triples it.
Oh, to 0.
But it's still triple. It's still triple the interest. I probably still not gonna get it, but I still, it's on my radar then. Maybe I had 0.1% interest.
There we go.
But now it's tripled my interest then. I am more interested then to play this now that I'm getting the first game for free. This makes sense. Because they finally realized that lots of people have never played the first game, and why are we releasing a game called Bayonetta 2, and that sales are probably going to suck shit. So, maybe we should give them the first game so everybody understands.
Yeah, I think that's a really awesome idea.
This is really good. This is a really good idea. And now that I've seen more, I still feel like they've what's it called?
Toned it down.
They've toned it down on Bayonetta 2, but from the screenshots I've seen from the Bayonetta 1 port or whatever, it feels like it's still what I remember my brother playing on PlayStation.
Oh yeah, they haven't messed with it. They've put in new costumes, but that's about it.
They have, but even the new costumes still feel more Bayonetta-y sexual-like than they do in Bayonetta 2. I still feel like they've toned it down.
I think once you pick up Bayonetta 2, I think it's all still going to be in there. I think what it is that, like, this is Nintendo Direct, or their specific presentation. So they had to have a trailer that anyone could watch. It's like after the conference, there was a game called Devil's Third announced, which is over the top violent and brutal. But it wasn't part of the main presentation because they don't want that in their main block where they're showing stuff. Like when they're showing Captain Toad and Yoshi's Woolly World, it would be too distracting.
That's probably true. But I was reading about Nintendo taking credit for other people were worried that they were toning down her sexualization in the second game, and they're taking credit for, well, we're giving you the Link costume in the first one, or whatever, and it was actually their idea to not have her wear the kind of white undershirt or whatever. They go, that's covering up way too much.
Wait, so it was Nintendo's idea to put it in? Or?
Yeah, Nintendo told them, don't put the undershirt on, just have her wear the green tunic, or whatever. show more cleavage, basically. They're taking credit for that idea.
Well, this is their main adult game. And
so they're just trying to put that out there to go like, look it, we want the sexy boobies too.
We demanded it, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, but that all comes back to kind of Samus. Even, do you think like the Samus Zero suit and shit was a way of keeping her sexy but yet still covered up?
I think so. I think it's just, okay, we can get away with it as long as we're not showing skin. But of course, even having something skin tight is pretty close to showing skin.
It is pretty close. It is pretty close. But it's still not skin. It's still not skin.
Well, I think that design of Zero Suit Samus came down to the Smash Brothers guy. Because he's like the person making these decisions. And he was like, this is what I want. So
it being skin tight and just showing the shape of the female body shouldn't be all that bad to Nintendo, because otherwise then anytime you're out in public and you see the woman symbol for a bathroom, you should be like, oh no, that's the shape of a woman. Oh no, that's no good right there. You can't put that symbol up.
Well, you gotta give it to them. They haven't censored Samus in Smash Bros, I don't think.
No, I don't think they have. I don't think they have either.
And I don't think they have for Bayonetta, really.
No, but she's definitely more skin than
yes, a little bit more.
A little bit more, just a tad. Just a tad.
So what we're saying is that Bayonetta looks good.
Yes, it looks good. It looks good. I'm still not sure this is the type of game I'd be into from what I remember. But I don't know, I'm willing to maybe give it a try.
Well, I played a couple Platinum games, and they were Wonderful 101 and Metal Gear Rising was really solid. So what put me off Bayonetta 2 was, honestly, I hadn't played the first one. But having the first one in there means, hey, I get to
that was a huge drawback, yes.
Like, that's crazy, the value of that. Although it does make me, like, another game that we're going to talk about in a bit is Xenoblade Chronicles X. And it baffles me with that game that with Bayonetta 2, they're putting in the first one for free. But with Xenoblade Chronicles, that game is so rare. Bayonetta I can get for like £6 anywhere. But Xenoblade Chronicles, I'm paying like £40 for it, which is the same as a full retail game used. And what puts me off Xenoblade Chronicles X is that I haven't played the first one, but I really want to. So I don't know why they didn't re-release that game for Wii U. Even if it's just a simple port. I wouldn't even mind paying for it. As long as I don't have to pay £40 for an old used Wii game, it'll be worth it.
I think it's because they still think you can get it for Wii, maybe. I don't know.
You can, it's stupidly expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just because, it's Bayonetta was on the PS3 and 360, so if you're a Nintendo guy, you might not know it. But still, Xenoblade, it's like, Bayonetta 2, I could have just brought the first one for 360, that would have been really easy. But Xenoblade, I can't do that.
Well, that's why I think they're giving you these extra suits, like the Link suit and stuff, so you don't go, oh, well, I could just go and get it for PS3. Now you have, now I get them all for one price, and I'm getting something I wouldn't get in these other versions.
Yeah, definitely. And also one disc as well, I think. Maybe.
Oh, it's all one disc.
I'm guessing. I don't know if Nintendo would release a 2-disc game.
They have in the past, haven't they?
I can't think of any in particular. All the GameCube games, they had tiny discs, but they were all on one disc. All the Nintendo ones, anyway.
Well, okay. There you go.
Yeah. But again, it's like Bayonetta 1 fitted on one 360 disc. And we already talked about how crazy better the Blu-ray is to the 360 disc, so I think it's possible.
Well, I'm putting this one in the maybe pile.
Oh, nice.
Which is upgraded from the probably not pile.
This is the game you've given the most positive praise to. Out of Smash Brothers, Yoshi, Captain Toad, Legend of Zelda, Pokemon. Bayonetta 2 being on the maybe pile, that's praise right
Well,
there.
I would put Smash Brothers somewhere in between the probably not and the maybe pile. I haven't designated what that one's called yet. It's the we'll wait and see what everybody else does pile. Because I don't think I would get this on 3DS, because I don't see me playing it alone. I really do see me playing it with other people. And if it's gonna be, like, I'd want to play it online. So I guess it's more like, we'll see how many of my online friends buy this game and for which system, and how many are gonna play it normally, and then maybe I'll join in. But we'll see how it goes.
Well, my attitude, we have complained a lot, but my attitude with most of these games is that I think they're all going to be good, which is why we gotta break them down and pick them apart.
See, you're the all gonna be good guy, and they're all gonna suck ass.
Yeah. Apart from maybe Bayonetta 2, maybe.
Maybe Bayonetta 2. I don't know yet.
Okay, well let's move on to the next game. We've got Hyrule Warriors, which I think is looking good, but
It looks good. Looks good. I'm more intrigued to play this game. I actually feel a lot better since they came out and said this is not part of their timeline.
Yeah, this is their own thing.
This is their own little thing. But at the same time, Nintendo backing away from that kind of makes me feel like, I don't know, it almost felt like them saying, like, if something goes wrong, this is on us. It's kind of like that kind of thing. I don't know. I know why they did that. They didn't want all these Zelda crazy people to go, like, where does this fit in? And, like, all this stupid stuff, and why does this not make sense? And how is Midna here? And blah, blah, blah.
Like yourself.
They didn't want to, like, answer all those stupid questions. So they just said this has nothing to do with it. But at the same time, it doesn't feel like they're giving it this endorsement either. Like, they're just going, here, make a game and shut Zelda people up while we're working on ours. Here, play this. And I don't really think that's... Playing this game might be interesting, but it's not going to cure my need for an actual Zelda game.
Oh no, it's just a nice side project.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's just, this looks good, I'm interested in it, I have to wait for the reviews. I need for people to actually play it and say, is this a good game? Because I don't know the series that well, the Warrior series, but I don't think that series is meant to be that good. So it's not.
From what I've seen, it just looks like a hack and slash. And those games, I'm not saying are bad, but usually from my experience, they're limited to how long they're fun for. There's only so much time that you can go in there and, like, hack away on a button and beat the shit out of things, you know, and it's fun. Like, after a while, it gets a little repetitive, and that's what I want to know. I want to know how this game is not going to be repetitive.
Yes, and that's why we got to wait for reviews, because we just won't know otherwise. So a maybe pile?
It's definitely in the high maybe pile.
Ooh.
I would give this one more of a chance for me to purchase than even Bayonetta.
Oh wow.
It's in the high maybe pile. I'm open to this idea.
So
I just want to know that it's not going to be a complete hack and slash like it looks. I want to know that for some reason there's more than just beating the crap out of moblins than it looks like.
So it's not that you're excited for it, you're just the least pessimistic about it.
Well, I am. Just the other thing that looked kind of weird to me is, like, when I'm watching them play it, like I was watching them play it on the Twitch thing, it looks like most of the enemies, or even your own army, is just there to make it look like it's a big battle, instead of it actually feeling like a big battle. Like, it still feels like your character is the one that has to win 90% of this battle.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't think that's how a real gigantic battle like this would work. I'd prefer it if it felt more realistic, where like it was actually a battle, and maybe you would take out, maybe your guy's the best of them all, and maybe you take out a good percentage, but you shouldn't have to do all the work. I would like my own team to feel like it's doing something too, kind of.
So you want it closer to like Battlefront rather than the original Warriors game? Because the Warriors game was spectacle, like, there's a lot of people.
Yeah, that's what this feels like. It feels just like everybody out on the field is just to make it look like a huge battle when it's really not. And I'd rather it actually really be a huge battle.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Kirby and the Rainbow Curse. Any interest in this one? It's a sequel to that DS game that came out.
Which DS game?
Kirby and the Canvas Curse, I think it was called.
I don't remember that one, but fuck, there have been so many Kirby games. And in the last couple of years, I've tried to give Kirby a chance in my life. I've still the only game I truly enjoy, like, is the original NES game. And even that's not the original one, because, yeah, there's some Game Boy ones, but we all know what I mean. Okay, I've tried to give Kirby games another chance in my life. Return to Dreamland was okay, but I still haven't finished it, to be honest with you. It's still sitting there. It was an okay game. I bought Mass Attack because I thought that was fun for a little bit, but then even that got a little repetitive as I played it more and more. That was an impulse buy because I thought it was fun at PAX, and they actually sold me on it. So congratulations there on your little demo. You got my money. Yeah, okay. But then actually, once I owned it, I started to get bored with it very quickly. I don't know.
Well, I think the difference with this new one is that it's actually catered towards using the gamepad with the touchscreen. I don't know if that will, that doesn't automatically make it good, but it at least means that it's a cool use for the gamepad. And it's also going to be a downloadable title, so it's not paying full price for a Kirby game. It's just a cool little...
This will not come out on a disc then version at all.
I can't say for sure, but pretty much it won't come out.
Well, I don't know. I'm back to unsure if I should give Kirby another chance. I just don't know.
Well, the gameplay is completely different. It's just drawing lines on a screen rather than a platformer.
Oh! Ooh, I like that even less.
Oh, good!
I like that even less then. I'd prefer a platformer. Like, do you know what, now that I really think about it, if Return to Dreamland didn't really win me over, then nothing is.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that was the game to check out.
Yeah.
Because there was the 3DS one that just came out as well, which was just a platformer, which is why this one is now something a bit different. But I'm not really that in with Kirby. But again, it's because of this game being different and using the touchscreen, that's what makes me interested. Like, the 3DS game, I don't care, because I just found... I played Kirby, and I was just like, yep, this is a Nintendo platformer, but when I could play Mario, or a different sort of platformer, why would I play this? So, but, having the different touchscreen controls makes me a bit more interested. And the claymation looks quite nice.
Ooh, claymation.
Yeah, it's all clay and all that. Okay.
Interesting.
So the next game is Xenoblade Chronicles X, which we already mentioned. Any interest in this one?
I never played the original. I've heard it's good. I've heard I should check it out. But as you said, I would want to pick it up, but it's hard to find. And if I did find it, it'd be really expensive. So my interest in this is low because I haven't had the chance to experience the first one.
Yeah, as we mentioned, it's like this game does look good. Graphically it looks cool, the gameplay looks quite good, but I would have to play the first one. And if I can't play the first one, then I'm not going to buy the sequel.
Yeah. And it doesn't feel like the type of game it doesn't even feel like a Zelda type game where you could just, it doesn't matter if you played the previous one or not. This feels like something I should experience the first one before I try this one.
I think you could play this new one by itself, but I think you would be missing out on too much.
Yeah.
Like all the systems and the way it all works and is put together. You just wouldn't have any of that knowledge going into it. Okay, so moving on to the next one, Mario Maker. Which I think is a cool idea.
It's one of those, well, you guys love to hack on your PCs and make all your Mario hacks. Well, here, now we'll make a game so that you can do it on your system instead of your PC.
Which is cool, if you're into it.
Which is cool.
Which I'm not into it, but...
I might be more into it here. It depends on how limited it lets you be. Like, I don't know what their limits are gonna be or whatever. So, if you, like, is it just level based or am I actually making a whole game here? Like,
I believe it's just level based, but you might be able to put together like a world or something like that. But it's only just got announced, so they just showed off the basics. Here's the level creator, and you can change it to the Wii U skin. So,
is there actually going to be a Mario game that they put in, or is the whole thing just you making stuff?
I think it's just you making stuff. But then you can, when someone else has made a level, you can just jump into that with all the online stuff.
Yeah, see, that'll be alright.
I don't like user-generated stuff, really. I think the levels, you have to play for a lot of bad ones to get the good ones.
Yes.
And then that's kind of a problem. And then I don't think people are that good at making games. Like, developers are good at making games. Some random guy who's got too much time on his hands, nah, I'm okay, thanks. So I appreciate that this exists. I just no interest in that sort of thing. It's just not for me.
Well, yet again, I think it'll depend on price and how it is. I'm not expecting this to be a full price.
No, this is
definitely a downloadable little thing.
Yeah.
So it's in the maybe pile.
Ooh, maybe pile.
Yeah, that's high praise from me.
Suck it, Captain Toad. Poor guy. Okay, so we're almost done. We have a new IP, Splatoon, which is, it's 4-on-4 third-person shooting, but you're shooting paint at each other. And then you can use the paint to get around by turning into a squid, and you just shoot at each other with paint. And again, like most of these games, it turns out in what capacity will this get released? Will it be a discount game? Will it be a full release? How much content is actually in the game? Because I like the concept of this, and the way you get about the arena and everything, all the colours changing depending on how well you do by shooting at each other. But I don't know if this is what sort of package I'm getting here, what sort of content.
This kind of felt like a capture the flag kind of game, or a defend your area kind of game.
Like, you could get this game on Steam right now, like a similar sort of idea.
Yeah, like, the way they marketed this game, it felt like a full-price game, but yet, I don't see it being that way either. This sort of feels like the Captain Toad kind of thing, where I think they think it's bigger and better than they really think than it's going to be. Like, I think it's a good game, but I think they're going to overhype it to where it's not going to be a good game. They're going to, you know what I mean? They're going to raise the expectations for this game, and then instead of just leaving them where they should be, and then everybody will go, okay, this is a good game. Like, if I paid $20 or $30 and I downloaded this game, then maybe people would be like, okay, yeah, this is great. But if you have to pay $60 for this and it's a full price game, then I don't think people will think this is such a great game.
No. I mean, and it's a Nintendo doing their online thing, which they've had a history of not being that good at. So they've seemed to have figured it out now, but...
Not only that, but the fact, I think long-term now, especially with these online games, I'm thinking long-term, and Nintendo obviously has proven in this first generation, well, really, this last generation that came out before this one, was really the first one that had full online with their systems, like the PS3 and Xbox 360 and stuff, right? The other ones had some online, but it wasn't that integrated yet, right? And Nintendo was the first one to shut down. So that makes me think, how quickly will they shut down here too?
I think they're going to be better with that stuff though, because it's just the Wii one was so rough around the edges. Like, it was their first attempt, so I think that played a big part into it. Where they're like, we're doing much better stuff, so let's just draw a line under this all, shut it down, move resources over to the Wii U, and that will be our online platform. That should have more play.
In 5 years when they start going, here's our new platformer, we're not going to shut down the Wii U servers, though.
I think they will eventually shut them down, but I think we'll get longer. Like, much longer.
I don't know about that. I just have little faith. I just see that PlayStation 5 is going to come out, and that servers for PlayStation 3 will still be up. I just have this larger faith that they're not going to shut anything down there.
Well, PS3 stuff is already being shut down.
It is?
I tried to play Haze, which was an early game, and there's no servers up. They just don't work. And I believe there's other games as well where early PS3 titles that had online now don't. They took it out.
Maybe they're leaving that up to individual people then.
Yeah, I think so. They don't have
than the entire system themselves.
Yeah, they didn't have a big
that up to developers.
They didn't have a big moment where they just turned it all off. But there are. If a game's not popular anymore, then it fades away. Which I guess is the right way to do it, because if no one's playing, then yeah, turn it off. But if they're still playing, keep it going.
Well, yeah, like, I just don't see, Yeah, that sounds fine. Like, I didn't see the reason to shut down Pokemon. That makes no sense.
I think they just did it as one big thing. Yeah. But they probably should have. Pokemon, I think, is the biggest one they should have kept going. Because Mario Kart Wii, we now have 8, which is, better online. And then Smash Bros. Brawl never worked properly anyway, and we got the new one. And then that just leaves Pokemon, which I don't think you have to have that many servers up and running to keep that going, really. Because it's just people trading and battling.
They should have kept that up. But I think you're right. They just decided I think Nintendo controls all of it, so they just shut it down as a whole.
Well, here's what will probably happen with, like, Splatoon, is that they'll make a Splatoon 2 on the new system, and then the old one gets turned off.
Well, that was the sign for me. Yeah, definitely. Like they basically have replaced all of their online games already, with the exception. The only one that I can think of that I own that was online that hasn't been replaced yet was the Mario soccer game, or football for you European people. Yeah, that's the only one that probably hasn't been replaced yet. And I'm surprised they haven't made a new one of that, seeing that the GameCube and the Wii U versions actually did pretty well.
Well, the Wii game was the first Wii Online game, and that was the big deal. It's like, it's online now, check it out.
And I thought it worked pretty well. It was fun at the time.
Yeah, but it's Nintendo now focusing on system sellers. Not, completely, because we got Captain Toad coming out, but, Mario Football is a bit too obscure, and I don't think it did well in the first place.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah. So maybe next E3 we'll get Mario Football free, but the sports Mario games have kind of gone away, completely.
Altogether,
really.
Yeah.
We got golf on the 3DS, and then tennis on the 3DS, but no console Mario sports games on the Wii U.
That's true. So maybe we'll get that on the 3DS.
Yeah, probably. That makes the most sense. Okay, so we got 2 more to quickly do. One doesn't even really count because it's Star Fox. They officially said we're doing a Star Fox. They didn't do a trailer. But
I was about to ask, I wasn't there watching this thing live, so I was just looking for stuff in post, and I was looking for a screenshot or anything. They didn't show anything, right?
It was really bizarre. It was, they didn't even announce it in the presentation. It Reggie was just like, here's Miyamoto for one last, here's going to say some stuff. And then it was him playing Star Fox blatantly, but it was blurred. Okay. And then it was just him talking about, we want to come up with new game experience on the gamepad. End. And that was it. Obviously, he talked more than that, but that's what he really said.
So he didn't even really say they were making a Star Fox game.
No, it was afterwards. Then he said, yeah, officially, we are doing it.
Okay.
But it wasn't part of the presentation.
So they didn't even have a picture or a design or anything.
No.
So, for all we know, he could have decided we're going to make a Star Fox game 10 minutes before they went on the air.
Well, there was at E3 on the floor, there was gameplay demos of the Star Fox game.
Okay, so there's more than just a decision. There's actually a process happening.
Yes, but
why wouldn't they show it to us then if they have it there at E3?
I don't quite know. I think, honestly, at this point, they are making a new one, but this is more of a... In what capacity we'll get this game is still up in the air. Like, they made a demo where they've made the gamepad controls work with Star Fox and controlling a ship, but they don't know if they're going to go all out with a AAA release or keep it to a downloadable thing. So I think we will get the big reveal maybe later this year once they've made that choice, but at the moment it's more a tech demo that they are making into a game.
It'll be interesting to see which direction they go, because... Like, if they look back, obviously Star Fox 64 is their most popular game in the series. And maybe that's the way they want to go. But honestly, like, I really preferred... This game wasn't played as much, but I really liked how they did Assault. I really did.
Oh.
And I'd prefer a game more that sticks to that pattern. I enjoyed... And I think they do it that way kind of in 64. Like, you get to be in a sub, you get to be in the landcraft, and you get to fly around, right?
Yeah, it's so only the walking sections that
it's really only the walking sections that was different, so I really didn't mind that. And Assault is level-based, and maybe people like the different paths or the options, so I don't think that would be that much of a stretch if you want to have multiple endings to different levels or hidden secrets. You can add that in.
Well, Assault was outsourced. I think Namco made that game, I want to say. So I think that's why people probably maybe they didn't like it as much, because Nintendo didn't officially make it. So any changes they made were, just changed.
But they've confirmed they're making this game.
Yes. Miyamoto himself is there.
Then I have faith in this game.
I think so. I think it's about time. I think on the Wii U hardware, and even using the gamepad might be cool for controlling ships, although I hope there is an option to not do that.
It'll be interesting to see where this game takes place in the Star Fox timeline.
Listen, we all know at the end of Adventures, if you don't defeat General Scales, then it splits off. And Scales is sealed away into the Golden Lands.
Well, in each game they seem to be aging these characters. And, like, from last I checked, they had Pepe retired and all this stuff, so I don't know. It's not like they haven't... They haven't said there's a timeline, but yet they've unofficially aged these characters.
Well, my guess would be that the Wii U game would be a remake of Star Fox 64, but obviously that's not the case because they already did that for the 3DS.
No, please do not make... If this is a remake, that's a really bad idea.
No, I don't think it will be, but I think that would have been my guess if that remake didn't already exist.
What remake? Oh, well, yeah. Okay, well, I wouldn't count that. No, you wouldn't do that.
No, they wouldn't, but that would have been my guess. So instead we'll get like a sequel to that game, but obviously it won't be that game, but it's gotta... Because Star Fox has been gone for so long, they have to kind of do a semi-reboot where they stick to the original, or that sort of design, at least.
Yeah, but I would expect something a lot bigger than Star Fox 64. Like, Star Fox 64... really is a short game in the overall spec of things, and it feels more suited to the 3DS when they remade it. But if they were to make a new game now, I would expect a much bigger game.
Yeah, if it doesn't push the Wii U hardware, then it's kind of a bit of a failure. Then you might as well just made it on the 3DS.
Well, it doesn't even have to push the hardware in terms of graphics. Like, that would be great, but I don't expect them to put the same effort as they're going to, obviously, into Zelda, in the graphics-wise, selling you.
Well,
I
it's
think
still
that's...
part of the enjoyment of Star Fox 64 is how good it looks, you know?
Yeah.
And if you're in a space battle,
I'm just
you
saying,
want...
even on Wii, it felt like when they came out with Skyward Sword, that was like their gem to show you, this is what Wii can do. Look at how good it could have been. Even though it's the end of their thing, the end of their lifespan on Wii, I felt like Skyward Sword was their thing where, like, well, if developers made games correctly like we do, look what they can do. This is how good it can.
I think
And
that's
I feel
true.
Like
but I
feel like that's the same thing they're trying to do here with Zelda Wii U. Is like, look at you idiots, if you do things correctly, this is how amazing a game can look on our system.
I think so, but I think also the other, like Mario Kart 8 as well, I think was them trying to do that as well. It just didn't hit as hard because it's cartoony.
That's true, but I don't think you really have the time to appreciate the graphics in a game like Mario Kart 8 because it's a racing game. Like, do you really stop and take a look? No, you're racing. It's a high-speed game. In a game like Zelda, you're going to be able to stop in a field and just take a look around and be like, wow, that's amazing. You know?
Yeah, hopefully. But then with Star Fox, you want a lot going on screen to make you really feel part of a space battle.
Oh, for sure. Definitely. And that's something I felt like they did semi-well in the remake or even in the original, was that I felt like, see, this comes back to Hyrule Warriors. I felt like your Star Fox team, in sometimes, like Slippy, was completely pointless, but at other times I felt like they actually, like Falco, actually did help you out at times. I felt like they were actually part of your team, and that's, hopefully they keep that theme going.
Well, in that
like,
game,
they're just not useless idiots that fly around.
well, in that game, each character had a specific thing they did, where Falco would show you shortcuts, Slippy would give you the boss health, and then Peppy would give you advice, or...
Yeah.
He had something else he did, I think, but they actually did do stuff even if they weren't shooting at enemy ships.
That's true. I just want them all to feel relevant.
Yeah. I think we'll get all that. I think it'll be this Wii U game will be like the 64 one, because it's gotten too messy at this point, and they've gotten enough time that they can get it right, and people have settled down. So I think it'll be good. Right, so one more game, and that's Codename Steam, or STEAM. Have you seen anything about this game?
I have not, but I find the name a little... Why?
Well, it's a new IP from Intelligent Systems, who make Fire Emblem and Advance Wars, and it's supposed to be like a turn-based game, but it's 3D movement, and you can, during your turn, you like can move so much and shoot so much. You know, it's you kind of have to watch it, but it's like a mix between turn-based and actually an action game.
Is this actually the name of this game? Or
Yeah,
is it really... Okay, see, that's where I got a little confused. Didn't know if this was actually the name of this game, or if that's, like, the code name for this game actually is Steam.
No, it's codenamed Steam, because it's like, you're supposed to be part of a group that are fighting the aliens, so you're a secret army people, so codename Steam.
Do you think they thought 1 second of actual Steam when they made this game? Because, I don't know.
I don't know, I think they just wanted a word.
They just wanted a word.
So they just made one. So they just made together this, put together a phrase and then tweaked it. So, hey, we can get Steam out of this. See, I think it's Strike Team... and then I think it's... What's the E? I can't remember what the E is. It's like Strike Team something... Like the Alien Menace or something like that.
Strike Team the Alien... I don't know.
It's something like that. It's something along those lines.
Okay.
But with this game, it's looking pretty cool. But after Paper Mario Sticker Star, I've lost faith in intelligent systems. And when it comes to intelligent systems, I wanted to see the Fire Emblem new game on Wii U. That got announced ages ago.
I'm surprised they didn't announce another Paper Mario game.
Yeah, I guess they made a decision to make this codename Steam game instead. So they're probably not making one. Because it's the same studio that makes Paper Mario, Fire Emblem.
So they're not going to make one?
They will eventually, but they're making that Fire Emblem Wii U game, which is with the Persona people, and this 3DS game, so they've already got like a couple of projects in the air right now. Well, that's it. We came to the end.
That's the end?
That's the end. So, any thoughts about Nintendo at E3 this year? Apart from all the ones we just said.
I'll put Nintendo in the maybe pile.
So what? Not their worst E3, but not their best?
Yeah, it's not the best, but it's whatever.
Well, I think I watched the presentation, so I had a bit of a different experience than you did. So I actually thought it was a really good presentation. Like,
I have no doubt. I always find their presentations enjoyable, even if like I'm not enjoying what's being announced. Like I think they do a very good job of being entertaining and making things seem interesting. It's just, I don't know. When you really start to think about it, you're like, are you really that interested? Or was it just the way I think they do a really good job of hyping things up.
Well, I think the good thing about the Nintendo presentation after the fact is that about half these games are coming out this year. Everything at the Xbox and Sony conferences were like 2015. There was very little announced for this year. But Nintendo, Captain Toad's this year, Pokemon's this year, Bayonetta's this year, Hyrule Warriors is this year.
Well, that's out of games they actually showed footage for. They did announce other things.
Yeah,
that
there's
were
some, but they at least
not at all.
shaped a load of games that's like, okay, they're coming this year. Like, in a few months you will be able to play them. Of course, they kind of lose that with Zelda, coming, is going to take so long. But still, they still did shape the year as looking pretty good up till Christmas with Smash Brothers and the rest of them.
Now, do you think, because, what is this? Is this year 2 or is this year 3 for Wii U?
Yeah.
This year, right?
Well, it came out 2012, so this is...
So we're in the second year.
Yes.
Okay. So, because we got 2 Mario games, a side-scroller and the traditional, and a 3D one. They came out within the first 2 years of this system. Do you think we get a second game near the end of this system?
Yes. Definitely.
You think we get 2 then?
Because on the Wii, there was New Super Mario Bros., Super Mario Galaxy, and Super Mario Galaxy 2.
Yeah.
And
That's
Super Mario
what
Galaxy came out 2007, a year after the Wii launched. And then we also got Galaxy 2. So as long as this generation lasts long enough, and they don't decide to abandon the Wii U and jump to whatever their next one is, yeah, we'll get a new one. Which should hopefully be more interesting and not like an actual interesting new concept.
Yes, I'd like a completely new concept. That was the only thing. Like I had no. Once I actually started playing, Super Mario 3D World. Yeah, they called it World this time. Yeah, I was happy with it. But just the way they announced the game and the way they looked the game, it made me instantly compare it to Land, and that didn't really excite me. So
well, that was the big problem with that game. 3D World is an awesome, really fun game, but
it is.
The fact that it's linked, like it was like, 3D Land, we made it, and we wanted to make a sequel that had co-op in it. It's like, you could have just made a new game with co-op in it.
Yeah, just do not link your game. I can't stress that enough. Just don't link your games like that, especially jumping from a handheld to your platformer, like it just to your home console. Just don't do that. Don't do that. It should. I'm of the belief, like, it's okay if you make your home console game and then you make a game on your platformer. I mean, your handheld. So, that's fine. But if you make a game on your handheld and then try to bump people up to your home console, no. I don't think that's the right way to go. Because, I don't know. I really think more people are like, at least I hope more people are like me, where they would expect more out of a home console game than they would a handheld game, right? So
I think that's what made the Wii U not have that, because 2013, people were like, there's a lot of cool games coming to Wii U. There should be some sort of boost in sales, or it should be able to. It could come back, but it didn't, really. It did well, but it's because the main two games were Wind Waker, which is like one of the worst performing Zelda games ever. People like it, but it was one of the worst performing ones. And then 3D World, which is just a HD version or a sequel to the 3DS game. So they're both pretty weak first-party Nintendo games when it comes down to it, and I think that's why the Wii U didn't have that boost. But with Mario Kart 8 it did, because it was a new, interesting Mario Kart.
Yeah, it's true. And looking back at it, honestly, I'm really, like I said, the best game they've released so far probably is Mario Kart 8, and for 3DS would be A Link Between Worlds, and it just makes me really wonder if they would have made A Link Between Worlds for Wii U instead, would that have made a difference?
I think so. I think people just want new, not more of. And with Nintendo, you don't expect to get more of. You expect new, something interesting. But they didn't deliver last year.
No, they didn't. They didn't. And I think that Zelda game on The Link Between Worlds was so good that if they would have put that out on Wii U, nobody would have complained at all, and it would have moved systems.
Probably more than Wind Waker HD.
Yes.
Because that did not move systems, really.
No, it did not.
Just the Zelda fans brought it, and that was about it.
Exactly.
Well, I think we've got to wrap up. So, pretty solid E3 for Nintendo. Could have done with some more surprises and a couple of things different, but what are you going to do?
Put it in the maybe pile.
You got to put it on the maybe pile.
In the maybe pile.
So, thank you, CowsCrazy, for joining me for 2 podcasts this week.
Woohoo!
You know, Proto made it to half of one, and Joe made it to one of them, so you're, top attendance to CowsCrazy.
Yes, I get a gold star.
That's right. Just top of the class, this guy. So, also thank you to Proto for stopping by. He had to go stream, because he does his streams on Sunday, so that's why he buggered off. So, I guess we'll end off the podcast, and I'm going to go watch his stream, I suppose.
I don't think I can, because I think he's streaming Crystal, isn't he?
Oh, I don't know. It's some sort of Pokemon.
Yeah, I don't think I can watch. I can't spoil myself.
Well, either way, thank you once again, CowsCrazy, for joining me, and we will see you, probably not next week, but in the future.
I'm always around.
You'll always be here to bring everyone down. In a good way.
If you think there's just a little too much positivity, if you think there's just a little too much Yoshi happiness going around, you just give me a
that
call.
Terrorist.
You just give me a call, and I will be here to bum everyone out.
Hope has been destroyed this week.
Exactly.
Alright, well, we'll see you guys next week.
Moo!